Have you ever thought about your classroom or your school, if you're in a principal or leadership role, as an environment? Let me reframe that question. Have you ever thought about your individual classroom, the place where students come to learn every day, if you're a teacher, or if you're the principal, that school building, as more than just the brick, the mortar, the desks, and the places that we sit to learn, or the building that we come to learn? Have you ever thought about that? Because if you haven't, you're missing a huge component. Hi, I'm Kathy Tooley, CEO of Tools for Success. So I want to focus on a classroom for just a minute, and then we can expand that a little bit. Have you ever walked into a restaurant that you love, that you go to all the time? You go there because they've created an environment that you love. And the food's probably really good too. That's a sidebar. There are certain vacation spots you go. I always use Disney. Disney is intentional in the environment that they create. Their cleanliness is off the chains. That doesn't just happen. There are millions of people through that park. They constantly spend money and marketing on the experience they want people to have when they come to Disney. Why is your classroom any different? Have you thought about that? You know, we always spend time as teachers thinking about our classroom management rules. And those are important. Make no mistake, those are important. But they have to be grounded in the environment you want to create. That's why, have you ever noticed that some teachers can have some rules and it works great for them, but if you have that same rule, it just doesn't seem to apply appropriately? It's like, why do kids do that in her room and they won't do it in mine? Because her environment is set up to support the rule. So before you spend a ton of time on classroom management rules, which I'm not negating or saying that they're not important, spend time thinking about how you want kids to feel when they're in your room. What's the experience you want them to have in your room? And I know some of you are thinking, like what? Let me give you a couple of examples. I knew as a classroom teacher that I ran a very tight ship. A very tight ship. I wanted students to understand very clearly that there were rules that were absolutely non-negotiables. Now, there's a cost to that. I may not come across as warm, or I may not come across initially as friendly, until they get to know me. But the price that I was willing to pay was, you will do A when I tell you to do A, you will do B when I tell you to do B, and you will do C. And there were repercussions if you didn't. So the environment that I created in my classroom was one of structure, very strong structure. One of my dearest friends who is a teacher says all the time that if we used to have to teach beside each other, I would drive her crazy. She lived in organized chaos and loved it. She didn't care that papers were everywhere. That didn't bother her at all. Matter of fact, what she said all the time is, I want kids to feel free to do whatever they want. That would have driven me crazy. But you see how neither one of them is right or wrong. This one fit her personality, and this one fit mine. So I think my ask of you is this. Before you start making a bunch of classroom rules, or before you begin tweaking the rules or thinking it's about the rules, it has less to do with the rules and more to do with about how are your rules aligning with how the experience you want kids to have in your room. So think about that for a little while. If you'd like more tips or you come up with some, I would love to hear your experience you want kids to have. What is the adjective you want kids to feel? And share those with me. Don't forget to type them in the comments. Don't forget to like and follow. Have a good discussion with that teacher whom you respect, whose classroom is in a way that you wish yours were, and ask, what is it you expect of kids? Because the real question is, what experience are you creating for kids? Thank you as always for following and watching our videos, and we hope you're getting some valuable tips from them. Don't forget to comment. Those matter. Have a good day, everybody.